There is a kind of exhaustion that sleep cannot always fix. It does not come only from working too many hours. Sometimes it comes from living for too long in a rhythm that does not feel like your own. I have been thinking about this during my walks lately, about how easily we can spend years building a better future while barely being present in the life we already have. For a long time, this was how I lived. I worked 3 rotating shifts. My days were shaped by constantly changing schedules, interrupted sleep, and the feeling that my time never truly belonged to me. Even when I was at home, part of my mind was already preparing for the next shift. I knew I wanted something different. I wanted more freedom, more independence, more time to create, think, travel, and decide how I wanted to live. So I began building an online business alongside my job. At first, it represented hope. It felt like a path toward a different kind of life. But gradually, without realizing it, I began recreating the same pressure I was trying to escape. I worked on my ideas after finishing my shifts. I used my evenings, weekends, and almost every remaining part of my energy. When I was tired, I told myself I needed to be more disciplined. When I wanted to rest, I felt guilty. And when I became exhausted, I treated it as evidence that I was serious about my future. The goal had changed, but the rhythm had not. I was trying to escape one demanding system while creating another one inside myself. And this is something many of us do. We leave a stressful job, but continue measuring our value by how much we accomplish. We gain control over our schedule, but then fill every free moment with another task. We begin a creative project because it makes us feel alive, and then slowly bury that feeling beneath deadlines, numbers, and expectations. The external circumstances may change, but the inner pressure comes with us. We can leave an old life without leaving behind the way that life taught us to move. Modern culture often encourages us to treat busyness as proof that we matter. A full calendar makes us feel important. Constant activity makes us feel productive. Exhaustion becomes something we quietly wear as a sign of ambition. But being busy and moving forward are not always the same thing. Sometimes busyness is simply movement without direction. Sometimes it protects us from asking more difficult questions. Is this work still meaningful to me? Am I building something I genuinely want? And what am I hoping will change when I finally reach the next goal? As long as we keep moving, we do not have to examine where we are going. Slowing down creates space, and in that space, we may discover something uncomfortable. The life we are working so hard to build may have started to resemble the life we wanted to leave. We often imagine that our real life will begin later, after the business becomes successful, after the income becomes stable, after we have more time, after we finally feel secure. Until then, we believe the present must be sacrificed. We rush through today because we hope tomorrow will finally give us permission to slow down. But the future is being created through the way we live now. If we build it entirely through urgency, fear, and exhaustion, those feelings will not automatically disappear when we reach our destination. We carry them with us. This may be why some people achieve the freedom they once wanted, but still cannot rest. No manager is demanding more from them. No shift schedule controls their day. But an inner voice continues to whisper, "You should be doing more." External freedom does not always create inner freedom. We can own our schedule and still be controlled by it. For a long time, I thought slowing down meant becoming less ambitious. Now I see it differently. Slow living is not about abandoning our dreams. It is not about pretending that money, work, and responsibility do not matter. It means becoming more conscious of what deserves our attention. It means understanding that not every opportunity requires a yes. Not every idea needs to become a project. Not every quiet moment needs to be transformed into something productive. Sometimes a walk can simply be a walk. A cup of coffee can simply be enjoyed, and an afternoon does not need to justify its existence. These moments may look unproductive from the outside, but they are often the moments in which we return to ourselves. One of the simplest changes I have made is learning to focus on one thing at a time. When I write, I try to write. When I walk, I try to notice where I am. When I meditate, I try not to turn meditation into another task I must perform perfectly. And when I rest, I try not to spend that time mentally preparing for more work. I do not always succeed. There are still days when I open too many tabs, follow too many ideas, and feel the familiar temptation to hurry. But now I notice it sooner. Single tasking is usually presented as a productivity technique. For me, it has become a practice of presence. Our attention is not only a resource we use to complete tasks. Our attention is how we experience being alive. When our attention is constantly divided, life itself begins to feel fragmented. We may complete many tasks while barely being present for any of them. I still want to build an online business. I still want to write, create, travel, and build a life with more freedom and choice. But the goal is no longer to reach that life as quickly as possible. The goal is to create a long-term, sustainable system. Something that can grow without requiring constant urgency. Something that supports my life instead of slowly consuming it. There may be faster ways to grow, but speed is not the only measure of success. A system is not truly sustainable if the person maintaining it is slowly disappearing inside it. Perhaps freedom is not only a future destination. Perhaps it also exists in the way we live and work today. It can be found in our ability to complete one task without mentally carrying 5 others. In our ability to rest without feeling guilty. In our decision to stop treating every pause as a threat to our future. And in realizing that we do not need exhaustion to prove that our dreams matter. I am still learning this. There are days when I rush. There are days when I believe I should already be further ahead. Old patterns do not disappear simply because we have recognized them. But awareness gives us a choice. So perhaps the most important question is not, how quickly can I reach the life I want? Perhaps the better question is, who am I becoming while I move toward it? My dreams have not become smaller. I have simply stopped believing that I must lose myself to achieve them. Because the life we want should not cost us the life we already have. And perhaps real freedom begins when we stop rushing toward the future long enough to become present in the life that is happening now. So before you continue with your day, take this question with you. Are you building a life you genuinely want? Or are you only creating a more attractive version of the pressure you already know?